Rock was like this weird dude that it was just like he just is great on the mic. Like his whole the eyebrow, the mutton chops.
Oh yeah.
He was like flat wearing. You know, it wasn't like a slam dunk character.
Totally.
He just crushed it as like who he was.
I think he separated himself with, like you said, like being on the mic like that, and that's one thing we bonded over. Was
so awesome.
We started kind of sending voice notes back and forth when I first got cast about stand up, and he even shared one of my crowd work videos once. I was like, cool, man, if you want to do this like every other week, that would really boost my numbers. and he's like, brother, I love like the way you do crowd work. Like it's, you have this hit 'em, hug 'em mentality where he's like, you got to fuck with people. He's like, I love that you fuck with people, but you're not a dick about it.
Yeah.
You're not trying to make them feel bad on the way out, which is like, what I've always tried to do.
It's a very fine
So
line.
he's like, you hit him and you hug him. He's like, you got to fuck with people, but you don't have to make them like wish they didn't go out that night.
Yeah.
And he's like, I love crowd work because when I was in the ring, he's like, that was my favorite part.
Sure,
It was
that's
straight
what it
off
was.
script. And I'm like, dude, that's how you really kind of made a name for yourself too.
Dude, getting down with the guy. Like
Throw
The Rock.
around voice notes with Rock. First of all, just dropping Dwayne's on us.
I know,
is
go
like,
Dwayne.
Is
Oh,
such a move.
DJ, but there's DJ Tanner, there's DJ Johnson, but you pick which one has more sentimental
Yeah, I
value.
mean that's a guy.
I haven't met Vince yet. I want to. I don't know if that's gonna happen,
Dude,
but
do you
that
know
guy seems like he's in his bubble.
Do you know who Rob Brindamore is?
I thought you were gonna just call Vince right now. Who's Rob Brindamore?
He's the head coach of the Carolina Hurricane.
Okay.
Former NHL player. And he gave an interview last night, like a post-period interview kind of deal. And he walked away, and it's the most Vince strut I've ever seen in my life. Watch his walk down the hallway.
I thought you were gonna show me 2 Girls, 1 Cup.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God!
That's like him
look at
walking
that,
to the
dude.
ring.
That's like the 100%.
And for sure, he knows what he's doing. He's
that.
like,
Look cool, look cool.
Brindamore is like Vince McMahon. Like, he's like the biggest
Wow.
hardo around. Like,
Yeah, I remember
he's
that
like
name growing up.
55 years old, fucking shredded. Probably one of the most jacked guys in the NHL right
Wow.
now,
That
except
was
he's the
always
coach.
Vince. That was always Vince, man. Like the old man chest and body. Like
oh yeah, I mean, like I try to beef up my shoulders for this season, but if we go into another one and it's truly, the era where he's like veining out,
I don't know how much
abs on his
how
tits
much
and-
longer that.
Yeah, I mean,
plays.
my mom was like, "Are you gonna shoot up?" And, and I was like, "I'm gonna think about
so
it."
How do you learn a rule like
I'll
that?
give you
Like,
shoot up instructions. I've done it.
Okay, good. Have you really?
I've done steroids, not shot up.
Wow.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
fun, bro. It's fun. You should do steroids, dude.
Yeah.
Strongly recommend.
It's gonna be a hard pass. But yeah, no, seems like it hasn't affected you at all. Did it affect your sweater choice, or were you already on point with that?
Dude, this
I'm
is
a
Taylor
big fan
Swift
of
sweater,
that.
bro. Come on.
Is it really?
Yeah, it's the Evermore folklore sweater. Had to wear it today for good vibes to get tickets.
By the way, it looks great.
Thank you.
No part of me thought that was a woman's sweater. I mean, a large part of me did, but I also wasn't.
That's okay.
Let me rephrase. No part of me was judging you for wearing a woman's sweater.
Bro,
It's a
I'll
very
be straight
seamless
up, the buttons are on the
transition.
wrong side.
Yeah, for sure a female sweater.
I've actually never buttoned it before, and this morning I was like, "What the fuck is going on?"
Bro, I think I
weird.
prefer it buttoned. I prefer it buttoned. Like I now have a whole stance
It
on it.
is
Yeah,
like
but
it
it looks-
falls off a lot when it's
when
not
you
buttoned.
when it's switched though, it's like I'm like, oh
Yeah,
I
it's
can't button
really
it.
it's actually a custom sweater, so it's not women's or men's. But I don't know why the buttons are on the wrong
Who
side.
got you that?
My sister got me for my birthday.
Did she make
Sweet.
it?
She had like someone she knows knit it.
But that person definitely thought it was for a woman.
I don't think so. I mean, she knew my size. It's like, no, my sister told her it's for my brother. Because the official sweater has a lot of silver stars on it. She took that off.
By the way, this
that's
is when
a
your
good
audience is tuning out. By the way, you asked me when I got the job. It's a funny story actually. So I auditioned for it, and then The Rock actually started following me on Instagram one day because I posted this. Once COVID hit, it was about late March, and I was like, man, like there was truly we gotten past that hurdle of like, oh, we might not perform again. There were definitely a handful of comics, at least I was talking to, that are pretty active that were like, man, like there was just no sign of like. July, things are, it was truly, I'm sure you guys felt that too, where you're like, oh, is there going to be no entertainment business? Which was a crazy thing to jump to conclusions.
We came back in July.
You did, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of ignored everything.
No
I said,
testing,
fuck
no
it, let's
vaccines.
go.
Wait, what was going on again?
Yeah, we were back full in office in July.
Yeah. I always thought COVID 2 sounded like the name of an autistic kid that Tobey Maguire was going to play in a movie someday. So I wasn't too afraid of it. But when it shut down, I was like, I got to start posting more just stuff, more content, just to kind of like do whatever, even if it's just little jokes or whatever. So I saw this article about Gwyneth Paltrow selling her vagina candles. And they've sold out in like 12 minutes. So I was like, oh, who's the male equivalent that should like get on this now? So I made some post about it and said, Rock, you should get some, dick and ball candles going. And I never tagged the person in it, so I tagged them in it. It was pretty baked, and I was just like, whatever, this is kind of funny. And it started getting a lot of, because it was right when it went up. So it was almost like I was breaking news with just the item itself. And And people started commenting on it. And then I started getting all these DMs being like, hey, how do you know The Rock? And I was like, well, everybody knows The Rock. And then I look at the comments, and then he had commented like, brother, like, I've been trying to get that going, but I keep dipping my balls or burning my balls in the wax, blah, blah, blah. Big fan, keep it up. And then he followed me. And so then I threw a Hail Mary on first down and was like, you want to do my podcast? And fucking radio silence for like 8 months. And I was like, dude, I jumped the gun. And then I randomly get this like 5-minute voice note from him on my birthday as I'm home in Seattle opening socks for my mom and stepdad. Shout out to George. And it's like from him, and I was like, get the fuck out of here. He's apologizing for not getting back sooner. He never checks his DMs. What? Man, been following you for a bit. You're hilarious. Blah, blah, just real sweet words. And then like, let me know when things calm down. Let's get some Terramana. And then again, I'm just like, here's my number, man. Like I can fly back tonight if you want. And then
do literally anything.
Anything you want. You are in the driver's seat, dude. You want to go rob a Baskin Robbins? I'm in. And so then we kind of stayed in touch, and I got the audition, and then I went to Chappelle. He was doing that camp in Ohio, little where his compound. I was doing a bunch of shows, so I went for a weekend, and I had sent an audition in, and then I'm literally taking a poo, and I get a text from him that says, "Yo, it's DJ. Call me back." So I was like, all right, I'll call him right now. So I call him, and he's just like, give me your best Vince McMahon impression. And I was just like, you're fired. And I did that, and he was like, congrats, brother, you got the job. And then we talked for like 2 hours, man.
Really?
About like comedy and sports and like single mom life and like, I mean, it was crazy, dude. Like the guy, I felt like I'd known him for 30 years. I mean, it was like a really
Holy shit.
It was very overwhelming as how just chill he was. I'm like, how are you doing? And even having an opportunity to like fan out or whatever was not even there because it was just like we just jumped around like the way that we're talking right now. Like if he was sitting right here, like he'd just be a part of the
Dude, I'm surprised you lasted. Like if that was me, I'd get so nervous. Like I'd Costanza the conversation. Like, I would try and get out. I would not last 2 hours.
That's enough.
Every window I had, I'd be like, all right, I'll catch you later.
You don't want to overstay your welcome.
I don't want to take up your time. I know you're a busy man.
Well, no, I did that probably 3 or 4 times. Where it was like I was like, all right, one more thing. And just got but then whatever it was, he like, and I think he had the time. He more often than not does not have the time for that. But I it was the initial call.
It's good that like I would imagine someone of his caliber can do 1 million projects, slap his name on something, and it'll be a success, regardless.
Yeah, he might be cloned too. There might be multiple of him.
I think at this point, you've added to a laundry list of people who I've run into who've had some
this is real.
No, I'm just saying everybody I've ever met who's known him.
Yeah.
Is like he's got
glowing things to say.
Yeah. And I am just trying to get somebody to say one bad thing about him. Nobody will. Nobody can.
Yeah.
We're at the point where I have no other choice. It's the only logical conclusion. He has to be a serial killer. Like there has to be something that balances it all out. And then behind closed doors, he's a mass murderer.
Yeah.
Because nobody can just be that cool, successful, rich, hot, strong.
I mean, look at Will.
And nice.
Will Smith had us all going for a while.
Yeah,
it was like one little slip up. Yeah.
Like
But even Will Smith there were the Scientology rumors. We were like, all
that's
right, there's
right.
a little
That's
something
right.
There's nothing with
fire.
Dwayne. There's nothing with Dwayne. He's just cool.
Yeah.
All the way around.